All right, I'm in with the main man, Mr. Legacy Family, Mr. Tim Bratz, real estate investor, coach, mentor, and a guy that is very proud to say that he's got 4,000 doors under his spell, as I call it, because he's got some magic to learn about that. Tim, what's up, man? Welcome.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome.
I appreciate you having me, man. Excited to be here.
No, thank you I appreciate you coming on. I do these because it's really important for me to share with people like who you are, what you've done, why do you work with me, some of the results. So tell everybody a little bit about you, and then where were you at before working with me with your business, and especially with the space I play, PR and social.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm a real estate investor. Been investing since the last downturn, so about 12, 13 years now. And I started out, flipping houses, doing a lot of the stuff that you see on HGTV, and then I got into apartment buildings. So now I own apartment buildings. Like you mentioned, I own a little over 4,000 doors, and that turned into a lot of people reaching out to me, right? I got vocal about what I was doing, how I was doing it, just, showing people on social media, just simple on Facebook, right? I wasn't even on all the other platforms. And I had a bunch of people start messaging me saying, hey man, can I sell you a deal? Can I buy an apartment from you? Can I invest with you? Or can I pay you to coach me? And so I had enough people reaching out to me where I did some, smaller events, higher ticket type stuff, and just put like 10, 15 people in a room, kind of taught them on how to buy apartments. And then that started scaling up. So I worked with a company that really owned like the education brand. I was the guru, and then they ran everything. And then when COVID hit, we just couldn't do those events anymore. They kind of got spun upside down. So I took over the business a little over a year ago. And so I knew that the social media is what got me started. And that's really what I wanted to double down on. Hired a videographer and just started creating content and tried to organically grow.
Right.
But dude, it was like swimming upstream the whole time, So, and we were growing. We've had a lot of success, or we had some success on that front, but it was just, again, it felt like we were working hard, but not working smart.
Right. And like before, so we worked together because you were looking at someone to help you to get verified, right? Mm-hmm. And just so I'm clear, like a lot of people were copying your image or your brand. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's a lot of, people who go out there and they take down one apartment building and then they duplicate exactly what I do on social media, right? Or I've seen a bunch of these fake accounts even set up that are people trying to duplicate me, and I don't really know what the play is. They're scams trying to get people to take their money. And getting verified was one to get rid of that stuff, and so that way people knew exactly what my account was. But I think there's a lot of credibility in showing that you're verified, right? Only rich and famous people get verified for the most part. So it automatically puts you in that category once you get verified. And I knew that's something it's just an instant credibility factor where people instantly respect you. I think there's two things you really need in order to have influence. One is trust, the other one's respect. So I know that the verification symbol gives me that instant respect. And then they start paying attention to the content, and that's what builds the trust. Now, all of a sudden, you have influence with that crowd. Now you can continue to grow with them and do business with them, and help them with their life. And who knows, they might become a client of yours, or a consultant, or a joint venture partner, or build some wealth, make some money together somehow.
Yeah. So basically, you're coaching people, you're mentoring people, but you wanted to get that final hit of authority, you're already doing well, right? And this is the thing with
dude,
PR,
I'm on a ton of podcasts, right? I'm on a ton of podcasts, and I'm putting out a ton of content,
right?
But even then, people are like,
but the verification tightened it up.
Yeah, hey, this guy's on podcast, like that guy's on podcast, and then he went to jail, and then that, you know what I mean? So it was always like little jabs that still hit the credibility piece. And I think it's just as much credibility as you can have.
Right.
Like how many articles can you have written about you?
Yeah.
How many podcasts can you be on? Do you have the blue tick? That's really the authority. Or seen as the highest level of credibility on social media. Yes. And I think it's worth every dime of what I spent on it.
So you reached out, or I actually reached out to you, right? And tell us about that experience, because there's a lot of guys selling you services. You've been, as you told me before, you've been through someone else that didn't do you the best business, right? So I reached out to you. How was that experience?
Yeah, man, dude, you reached out to me right after I got scammed out of 25 grand out of from some clown overseas. And so I was obviously jaded about it. And dude, anybody who's on Instagram, who's creating any content, and before I had tens of thousands of followers, I had people just reaching out all the time,
Right.
saying, hey, let me help you with this. Let me grow your followers. Let me do that. Let me do giveaway campaigns, like dozens of messages every day. And so how do you sort through all the nonsense? And you were the only one who actually reached out from a real account, right? It wasn't just some chick with big fake boobs, on an account with 10 followers, right? You actually had a real account, you had real followers, and your account was verified, and you had a million followers on it, right? So like there were all these different levels of credibility that came from you, and you reached out, not somebody on your team on your behalf, and you sent me a video. Hey man, checked out some of your content, and it was personalized. Right? It wasn't just like a general video. It was, hey Tim, checked out some of your content, love what you're doing here. Here's something I would do here. You led with value, which is something I believe in wholeheartedly. Lead with value, and then develop the relationship, and then who knows? Maybe somebody becomes your client, and I did.
Yeah, and then I ended up speaking at your event, right? Sort of like, and look where we're at now. So basically,
now I refer people your way. Now it's like it makes sense because
I get it.
Led with value.
Right. So I led with value. You got the service, right? And getting verified, how has that helped you actually now? Like just from people who may be on the fence about like, should I get it? Should I not do it? Should I invest the money? Like, what have you found by being verified, even with your success? Because you're already successful, you're already making money, you're getting traction. What have you found after that service has been put on your account?
There's a wow factor, right? I was at a company party, me, my team, over the holidays. Had a whole bunch of people out, and then a few of us went out and grabbed drinks afterwards. I'm talking to somebody at a bar, having some cocktails, and they're talking to me about their entrepreneurial struggles. Just somebody I met randomly at the restaurant or at the bar restaurant, right? So, and I'm giving them insights, and they're like, "Oh, okay, hey, it seems like you really know what you're talking about." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I do a little bit of coaching. I help people out." And they're like, how can we stay connected? I was just connect with me on social media. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram. It's where I'm most active. And they pull up my account. They're like, "Dude, is this you? You're and he looks at his buddy. He's like, "Dude, he's verified." He's like, so there's this wow factor,
right?
This instant additional credibility that I had, and I had already given this kid a ton of value, right? But he didn't. It's like what's the saying? Jesus couldn't be a prophet in his own hometown, right? Because everybody knew him for being the son of a carpenter, right?
Right.
But as soon as he left his hometown, all of a sudden they saw him as his prophet, the Messiah, and all this other stuff, right? And so the key to that story, the point of that story is like, people who know you and they're close to you know you for you, and maybe trust you, maybe don't respect you, right? So as soon as a third party, as soon as some sort of arm's length person says great things then about you, now it's gospel truth. This guy's the real deal, and getting that blue badge, getting the verification symbol does that. It does that for you.
Right. And in the space that you play, Tim, because everybody's an investor, right? Everybody's a coach. Anyone can be cool and put a hat on and put a sign in the background like you and go, give me money, right? Having that credibility and authority now when you go to marketplace, like I'm assuming you don't have a trust problem anymore. Like that's not a problem, correct?
Not that I have come across, right? Like I don't get
like I don't trust you, or like
pushback, or like everybody at least understands that I know what I'm talking about, like, so again, the credibility piece is there. Now it's just building the trust, right? I like this guy, or I trust, I respect what he's done in business. I see what he's doing. He's obviously an authority in the space.
Right.
Now, let me just make sure his values fit with mine. And that's what deepens the trust.
Couldn't agree with you.
So
I get it, man. No, I love that. And I'm so happy because the people like, the reason I like you, Tim, and I'm not saying this on video, because you get it. Like you get the game. We spoke about this when I did your podcast, was it 2 weeks ago, is you get it. You understand the power of authority and the power of credibility. And I think this leads me to the next question. Like, so there are people right now listening to this that maybe are in real estate, maybe you're in finance, maybe you're a plastic surgeon, and they're making money, they're doing well, they're doing their thing, but they're on the fence of either investing into their brand because they can't see the tangible ROI. I know I can sell it, but I'm the salesman, right? It's my company. For someone like you who's invested a lot of money, not just with me, but into your own personal brand with content, with your team, how can you advise someone about that ROI thought process? Because it blocks a lot of people, right? Because you're in a space, man.
Totally.
It's like, I invest 300,000 in this house, I make 600. That's a 300 grand ROI. How can you tell someone about spending money on their brand?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great question. And I think you're right. I think it doesn't have the immediate return on investment. So it limits a lot of people of doing that. I have found that the greatest use of my time now is unquantifiable things like just building influence and building the brand. Because once the brand is built, anything can be sold, right? I'm a real estate guy. Excuse me. I'm a real estate guy, but then I became an info marketer, right? And teaching people on how to invest in real estate. And then I had additional credibility there. So then I launched a series of children's achievement and leadership books, right? And sold a bunch of those just based off of my reputation, my following. I'm going to launch an investment fund and we're going to raise hundreds of millions of dollars because of the credibility that I've had on social media and in all these different spaces. So I don't think there's a better personal use of time and money than building your own personal brand and building your influence. If you have influence, you can do anything and you can write your ticket. Now it's not about success or failure. Now it's about varying levels of success. How big do you want to grow it? How big do you want to build it?
Right. That's mic drop right there. Sure. Last question for you. There are a lot of people in PR, media, right? Tell your experience and be honest with everybody working with me. How was I to work with? I know you've invited me personally just speaking at your event, but what was I like to work with on a personal level? And
I will say I am very I don't really welcome a lot of people into the community, right? Who reach out to me and like all that kind of stuff. Like I don't put people in front of my following, and I have a tribal following, right? I don't have the biggest, but I have you have a loyal community. Very loyal community.
Yeah.
And the reason I have that is because I don't just put anybody on stage. I don't just promote anyone. It's the best of the best in whatever the industry that they're in is who I put up on stage. And I don't have any skin in the game myself, right? Like me saying good things about you. I don't get referral fees. You don't pay me affiliate commissions or anything along those lines. I'm doing it because you did right by me and I'm doing right by you, And so it was fantastic, right? Like here's the thing. We live in a world of people who don't do what they say they're going to do and they're not who they say that they are. So as soon as you come across, like, you don't have to differentiate yourself that much. You just got to be who
just finish the job.
And you have to do what you say you're going to do.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's like, holy smokes, man, I can't believe this guy actually did what he said he was going to do in a timeline shorter than what you said you would do it in.
Right.
And dude, and it was pretty painless. Like it was like, I'm a very busy guy. You respected my time. You took a lot of things off my plate. You followed up with me. You were persistent of like, hey man, I need this. Right. But you weren't annoying and got everything moved along. And so like, that was really, really good because sometimes I need that little kick in the butt. And I realized how important that is. And then once it was done, we had a great conversation. You said, hey man, how else can I add value? Right. Not looking for anything else, not trying to sell anything. I said, hey, I really like what you got going on. I've seen a bunch of your content too. Why don't you come out and speak to my group?
It was great.
And it was awesome, right? Man. They loved you. You loved them. Organically, you got to network and get some business out of it too. And dude, that's what makes the world go round, right? Leading with value. Awesome. And that's what I appreciate about you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And so everybody knows that you're not just an actor from LA, Tim. Where can they find you, man? How do they know? Hang on a second. I need to check this.
Dude, I'm not dressed well enough to be an actor from LA, man. Hey,
dude, it's right. This is the dude, what do they say? The catch is the guy that dresses down makes more money. Well, whatever. I'm on the come up. I'm on the come up. So where can they find more about you, man? Where can they learn about you?
Hit me up on social media, right? Look for my verified account on Facebook, Instagram. It's where I'm most active. We're dropping content on TikTok and LinkedIn and all the other platforms.
How do they find you? What are they searching for?
Tim Bratz is my Instagram handle @TimBratz, and then /TL Bratz on
BRATZ, everybody.
BRATZ. Yep.
Cool, man.
So yeah, connect with me there, or you can hit our website, www.legacywealthholdings.com.
Done. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you, buddy.